Plot to kill Donald Trump's allies inspired by Luigi Mangione. So apparently somebody up in, I believe, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, a Massachusetts man who told police he came to D.C. to kill allies of President Trump, said he was inspired by the man charged with the killing of United Healthcare CEO, according to the court documents. Ryan Michael English, 24, told the police that he had been thinking about this for a while because of Luigi Mangione. And the reason this matters is that Mangione facing the charges that he's facing has really sparked this incredible debate about our need to have single-payer healthcare in the United States. Well, guess what? He is going to ultimately, more than likely, not encouraging anybody to do anything, but is it really a stretch to think that there aren't going to be Luigi Mangione copycats out there, that people are getting so desperate by this broken system that they're going to be like, fuck it, what have I got to lose anymore? I think that that's a real serious thing that people need to be taking into consideration. And this is just the beginning, as far as I could tell. This Ryan Michael English, he didn't succeed in his efforts, but it was enough to get picked up by Newsweek. So who the hell knows how many more of these could potentially be out there, because the system is doubling and tripling down on their exploitation of working people.
Well, the party line on our show is Luigi Mangione didn't do nothing. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing.
I don't think he did anything. I mean, it seems to me like a guy who was smart enough to pull off that crime and escape a highly surveilled island. The only ways in and out are bridges and tunnels with cameras on them. How was he stupid enough to keep the murder weapon on him and keep his manifesto on his person? So that seems like a setup to me. And if just one juror agrees with that theory, then justice will be done in that case. So I think the case against him is very weak. I don't think he did anything. In terms of what you're talking about, vigilantism more broadly, yeah, I mean, look, nobody cries any tears for Brian Thompson, obviously. But one point that Jordan has made while covering this, and he's covered this a lot, is that look, just look at what they're doing to the immigrants. Look what Chris Hedges says about how, what the way the empire treats people around the world is how they will eventually treat their own. The point being, you see how increasingly fascistic they have gotten in the first 10 days of this administration, to the point where now they're talking about, essentially rebuilding a migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay to house migrants in an extra legal fashion. That's what they'll do to us if copycats start happening. Like, they will respond in increasingly and very rapid in their extremism in fascistic ways. And so that's why, not to be a party pooper or anything, but I do think an organized labor movement is probably a better idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important for people that are not in official unions and in the types of work that have organizations, because most people that are just your regular gig workers or people that are suffering in this economy don't necessarily think of themselves as labor. They're part of that. And those are the people, and we are so increasingly in that economy, which is why it's so important for everybody to understand how it affects them, even if you do whatever you do that isn't a typical union type of job.
Right.
And we need everybody in the street. That's what needs to happen.
Right.
And I think that will happen, because people, the great thing about what has happened, if there's a silver lining to the alleged actions of Luigi, is this idea that single-payer healthcare is a front and center conversation in a way that, and I'm not putting down Bernie in any way, I think he did a phenomenal job of sparking that conversation, but now the conversation surrounding healthcare in this country is one of absolute rage on the part of most people. They are enraged at how absolutely corrupt and broken this system really is. And I think they have every reason to feel that way. And I also think that they can't put the cat back in the bag. I think that people are getting extremely restless, and this is only going to get worse. I can't see it getting better, because the amount of money that private insurance and big pharma spend on a regular basis is so out of sight, out of mind, but it's also because they're trying to maintain a system that doesn't want to maintain itself anymore. They are hanging on so desperately. And this was something that we pointed out on the last story we did regarding Luigi, is that you had that Chinese company Red Note that has a similar sort of TikTok application, and you have thousands upon thousands of video of Chinese, not, I would say, necessarily trolling Americans, but they were all saying, hey, we've got universal health care here in this country. How come you guys put up with the fact that you don't have shit? And that's why they want to shut these applications down, because the American populace is becoming self-aware in a way that I don't think they've probably ever been before.
Absolutely, and especially, I mean, look, we've all heard that Europe has a better sort of social democratic infrastructure than we do, but given all the propaganda about what a dystopian hellscape China is, like, to be red pilled by the Chinese it hits even deeper, because they're like, oh, wait a minute, we were told this is this dystopian sort of like police state. Oh, you mean it costs what did the guy say? It costs $9 for an ambulance ride in Beijing versus here, a few grand. So yeah, no, that was a very, very powerful point. And more broadly speaking, this whole thing with the DeepSeek AI, where they just completely cucked the tech bros. I mean, it's amazing. And I look, I think all this stuff happening at the same time, when Trump implodes, and I think he will. I mean, he already lost a couple points on his approval rating since he took office. He's like 45 now. I think he's going to end the year around 40. That is going to create a cataclysmic moment, because the Democrats are not going to scoop up those voters. Like, there's just going to be a collapse in faith in the system, very broadly speaking. And that's our opportunity. We have not had that opportunity in my lifetime. Bernie will always, hold a certain place in my heart, since I kind of, and I don't think I'm alone in this, I think I owe my political awakening to him and his campaign. But for 4 years, he's out shilling for Joe Biden. And now that Biden's out of power, now he's grilling RFK about Medicare for all. It's like, we need you there when the Democrats are in power. You can't just do this when your party is in no position to put this in action. And so, that's his legacy. I think, he, will go down in history as the beginning of something, but I don't know if he has the stones or the gravitas to see it through to the end. So yeah, that's how I would describe him.